Welcome back. I'm back. You're back. Hey, we back. Welcome everyone's episode on the Ultimate Sports TV, guys. One of the biggest trades, or maybe even the biggest trade of the NFL offseason, happened a couple weeks ago, guys. We saw Julio Jones get traded to the Tennessee Titans in a blockbuster trade for a second round and a sixth round pick going to the Atlanta Falcons, guys. Now, this trade shook up the whole NFL, and it definitely shook up the Titans rosters. We already know they have Ryan Tannehill, they have A.J. Brown, and they have Derrick Henry on that roster, guys. One of the biggest ways I think Julio Jones will help this Titans roster will be taking a load off a couple of the players. And this Julio Jones trade and him coming to the Titans, to me, helps out Derrick Henry the most, guys. But before I get into that and why I think this trade helps out Derrick Henry the most and why Julio Jones on this team will really benefit Derrick Henry, guys, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the Ultimate Sports TV. Because if you are not subscribed, you're missing out on so much, people. Because this is the hot spot. Get lots and lots of hot from the Ultimate Sports TV spot with NBA and NFL content. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and join the TUSTV squad. But then when you're done with that, please like this video for me, share this video and YouTube channel, then comment down below if you think this Julio Jones trade helps out Derrick Henry the most. And if you don't think it helps out Derrick Henry the most, who else on the Titans team do you think this trade helps out the most, guys? But here is why I think that this Julio Jones trade helps out Derrick Henry the most out of anyone on this Tennessee Titans team. Now, people, I've stated this statement on this channel many times before, but my question before this Julio Jones trade was, how were the Tennessee Titans going to preserve Derrick Henry and his injuries, knowing that, hey, you lost Corey Davis and now you only have A.J. Brown, and that receiving core was getting a little thinner? That means you were going to have to rely much more on the run game, which means you're going to have to rely much more on Derrick Henry, which means you're going to have to rely on him staying durable and staying healthy. But that's not always the good thing at times when it comes to running backs. Running backs, if you use them too much, if you use them too heftily, then they can get injured and you can wear them down. And if the Tennessee Titans did not really stack up in this receiving core, then I thought that's what it would be looking like for the Tennessee Titans. You have A.J. Brown, but you don't have enough help for A.J. Brown for defenses to pay enough attention to the outside. They're going to continue to stack the box if you don't stack up in that wide receiving core. And if they continue to stack the box and you continue to rely on Derrick Henry because you can't rely on the receiving game because it's too thin, then hey, Derrick Henry is going to get worn out and he's going to fall, which means your offense is going to fall. But to me, the Tennessee Titans made sure they fixed that problem. Now, I don't know if this was their intentions. It was either just to add some more depth to the team and have an opportunity to go get a star like Julio Jones. But this trade helps out Derrick Henry the most because it preserves his legs and it preserves his injuries as a running back, making sure that this team does not wear him down. This team added a alpha dog to their wide receiving core in Julio Jones. We know what he can do. Now, there is a question of what Julio Jones you are going to get because he is getting older and he has had injury problems as of late, but this guy is going to bring so much attention to defenses. He's still going to give all that he has and he's still going to put up some productive numbers next to A.J. Brown. Now that you have stars that defenses have to pay attention to and stars that you can use really, really well and give you great production, you don't have to rely all on Derrick Henry running on the ground to carry you to win games. Because if you were going to do that going to this season, I'm telling you, they were going to wear Derrick Henry down. It's what the Rams did with Todd Gurley. Now, although they were a run-heavy offense and they did have Cooper Kupp, they had Brandon Cooks, and they had Robert Woods, they relied way too much on Todd Gurley. They didn't rely enough on their pass game. And I thought that was what was going to happen to the Tennessee Titans if they did not stack up in this receiving game. Because they are able to go get some star receivers that defenses pay attention to and that their offense will mainly pay attention to really draw up some things for these receivers, it's going to preserve Derrick Henry because he's not going to have to carry a load as a running back now. It's really scary for the rest of the league though, because are you going to stack the box because you got to stop Derrick Henry, the guy who ran for 2,000 yards, or are you going to have to stop the two talented receivers in A.J. Brown and Julio Jones who really play big and especially play big downfield? So you got to worry about two things as a defense when you're facing the Tennessee Titans, and it's going to be a worry for a lot of defenses. It's like if this all gets going with Julio and he stays healthy, it's going to be really scary for the rest of the league. Now, the Titans do have to rely on their defense, but they won't have to rely too much on it if they keep the ball out of other offenses' hands and they are able to score at will. And that's something I think the Tennessee Titans will be able to do because they did add Julio Jones to this team. But making sure you added Julio to this team made sure that you preserve what Derrick Henry can do. Because of this trade, I think we'll see a good amount of Derrick Henry being healthy and being dominant for years and years to come. Now, I'm not talking 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, nothing like that, because that's just absurd. I'm talking 3 years, 4 years Derrick Henry, where we still see dominance out of him because the Tennessee Titans were able to preserve his injuries by getting him some help on the outside. You got to pick your poison with this team because you got to worry about the outside and you got to worry about this run game. And then you have a quarterback in Ryan Tannehill who can definitely distribute the ball well. Now, to me, I think another way the Titans really did a good job within this trade, not only really having Derrick Henry and to preserve his injuries, but to really evolve this offense. Now, teams are going to be able to figure out, they know that your first option is run first, and to run first with Derrick Henry. Teams are going to sell out in the box to try and stop Derrick Henry, but you make sure you evolve this offense to add a little bit of the more pass game, and you do that by going out to get a star receiver in Julio Jones. So the Titans did two things well while getting Julio Jones. That's helping out Derrick Henry so he doesn't have to really be injured or carry a load anymore, and that's also evolving your offense, knowing that teams are going to have to sell out to try and stop the run, but you can also have a pass game to lean back on so you can evolve your offense and have something to fall back on and be great with, guys. So those are the two things I think the Titans did well with in this Julio Jones trade. Make sure you give yours in the comment section below, guys. Again, I think the Julio Jones trade helps out Derrick Henry the most, guys. Other than that, this is Malik Hicks, aka the Ranker, the Ultimate Sports TV, signing off. Make sure to like and subscribe. Peace out, and I'll see you on the other side.